The duel has begun. Alicia and the elderly warrior are watching the duel. Alicia has gathered her soldiers and sits on the stage. Both of them can use aura, but this duel is not a match of life and death. So if anyone is in danger, they will stop the match. The priest asks them if they agree to the rules. They both have accepted the rules. The priest raises his hand, as this duel will be under the watchful eye of God. He lowers his hand and starts the duel. From the beginning, Ishan has activated his aura. He tells Vlad that he has taken good care of the handkerchief, because it is the last time he will touch it. Vlad remains silent for a moment and asks him what he will give him. Ishan does not understand his words. Vlad asks him again. If he wins, what will he give him in return? Vlad says why not give his great sword in return? Hearing this, Ishan is momentarily surprised, gets angry and almost loses control. Vlad tells him, don't Westerners loot others and consider it a matter of pride. He tells him about the place he comes from, where looting is a part of life and death occurs as a result of things being stolen. Vlad moves his feet and gets into his fighting position. Vlad says he doesn't know which of them is more greedy. Ishan has not seen this kind of fighting stance in his life. He becomes serious watching Vlad. Vlad was smiling, as he thought Ishan would like his fighting style. Ishan was startled when he saw something shocking. All the warriors of the Bayezid household were standing in a row, holding large swords. As soon as Godwin saw the knight, he realized that they had already prepared for the duel. Vlad called Ishan to come closer and show him how amazing the heir of the Guider household is. His eyes were red and he attacked with full force, his attack landing on the ground. Vlad jumped backward to avoid his attack, creating some distance between them. But Ishan began to close the distance there, attacking with his big sword. Vlad blocked his sword, but it was heavy, and Vlad deflected his attack with his own sword. Ishan did not lose his momentum and attacked again. Vlad again moved back to avoid his attack. Ishan only attacked, while Vlad did not strike back and only defended himself. The warriors of the Bayezid household were pleased because Vlad was performing well in every struggle and improving against a tough opponent. On the other hand, Godwin was surprised because Vlad was dodging and deflecting attacks. He realized that Vlad was more prepared than he had thought, and the ground was slippery. This was comfortable for Vlad, as he could move quickly. But it was difficult for Ishan, as he needed strong, supportive steps. Godwin did not know who came up with this idea, but as we know, Joseph was behind this area. As Ishan continued his attack on Vlad, without giving him any chance, Vlad was getting tired while trying to evade his attacks, while on the other hand, Ishan was getting heated up. Ishan attacks again from above. This time, Vlad decides to counter his attack. He established a strong position on the ground and stopped his attack with his short sword. As their swords collided, Ishan could not maintain his pace on the ground and slipped. Ishan was surprised as he had heard that Vlad was only a novice who had trained with his sword for a year. He swung his sword again, but he could not touch him with his sword. All his attacks were heavy, as if he was ravaging the ground, but it was all in vain because he could not land his attack on Vlad. He got angry, telling Vlad how long he would continue to evade and run from the fight. Vlad was tired, but he was smiling. Ishan could not fight properly because the ground situation was difficult for him. He felt as if he was fighting on a muddy field. He needed to finish the fight quickly. If he dragged it on for too long, he might give Vlad opportunities. He was angry and frustrated, as it was humiliating for him not to be able to defeat a nameless warrior. He began to taunt Vlad, seeing his inferiority and clumsy fighting style. He even said that his mother was disappointed in him, in the way he fought. Vlad was surprised and angry upon hearing this, and remained silent for a few moments. Vlad smiled and said that he knew nothing about the alley, and if he did, he would not say such things. He said that his taunts had no effect on him. Istvan was shocked because his words were having no effect on him. Vlad initiated the first attack on Istvan, striking him with his sword, as Istvan did not expect this attack. Vlad pointed his sword at him, the sword now in front of his face. He blocked the attack with his large sword, but Vlad's attack was successful. Vlad told him that his father would be happy to see him, as Istvan was bleeding. Vlad told him that the proud son of Nabal was bleeding from the attacks of the street orphans. Istvan gritted his teeth as he was about to lose control. Istvan was angry and activated his aura. He swung his great sword in every direction. Vlad defended against his attack and created some distance between them. Istvan was surrounded by his aura and looked like a monster. He looked at Vlad, his eyes were red, and he was angry. Vlad was smiling, but he was nervous. His sword was trembling. Istvan decided to get serious as soon as he came into his fighting stance. He told Vlad not to expect an easy death. Godwin knew Istvan had restrained himself from the beginning, but as soon as he got serious, the fight would end here. Jeffrey knew how strong Istvan was, because now Vlad had to stand his ground. Vlad knew that he would get tired using the greatsword, and his stamina would deplete if he used the aura. He just needed to avoid his attacks. At least he could end the fight in a draw. Even if he loses the battle, he has already received permission from Joseph. All the knights of the Bayezid household who gave him the chance to fight, and his mentor who guides him, or Lady Alicia who left her honor with him, because they all do not see his likelihood of winning, because they do not expect that a person from the alleys could win against the Count's family son, who grew up receiving the best education. He took his sword and thought that even if he loses, he will gain something from this fight. He knows he will lose this battle, but he does not want to run away from the promises made to those he cares about. He looked back at Istvan and saw Godwin. He does not want to lose in front of them, who destroyed his home. As he was looking at him, his eyes were gleaming with aura. He wanted Godwin to see him, who was worthy of standing before him. He will fight him one day, even if he has to struggle all his life. Today's episode has ended. See you all in next episode.